Some wrestling fans, you got this show here at Big Slam Wrestling, and as always, the revolution is now. We're here to talk about WWE and WrestleMania 30 and everything that's fell out since last night. We're going to jump into the first match in the pre-show, which was a fatal four-way with the Usos defending their titles against Los Matadores, the Real Americans, and Rybaxel. Yes, Rybaxel. No, they don't belong in WrestleMania, not even on a pre-show. But everybody else here does. Primo and Epico masquerading as Las Matadores is one of the best tag teams in WWE, and actually one of the best tag teams in the business right now. The Real Americans are a solid team with Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger, and the Usos are the Usos, brother. Multi-generational champions that were long in coming for holding the titles, and they did not fail in retaining those, which was a pleasant surprise, as I was so worried that the titles were going to fall around the waist of Rybaxel or Los Matadores, which thankfully was not the case. What we did have here, which is something I did predict, was the breakup of the Real Americans, as Jack Swagger upset with Cesaro, and despite being trying to be talked out of it, to hug it out and shake hands and everything by Dirty Dutch Mantel, all to no avail. Swagger went to put the ankle lock on. Cesaro got out of it. They still went to shake hands. Turns out Cesaro winds up taking out Swagger, and off he goes up the ramp into Destiny. Now we kick off WrestleMania without the national anthem, which I was a little disappointed in that fact. What we did wind up with was the immortal Hulk Hogan, who, although we were in Louisiana in 2014, Hulk Hogan apparently was at the Pontiac Silverdome back in WrestleMania 3. Little snafu by the Hulkster by mixing up the name of the stadiums. But neither here nor there. It was still entertaining, where we had Stone Cold Steve Austin made an appearance. The Rock came out, and The Rock and Stone Cold and the Hulkster quipped back and forth with all kinds of good stuff, from Steve Weisers to people making rock babies. Everybody getting off their catchphrases. It was a good feeling time as a wrestling fan, multi-generational, to have three of the greatest of all time in the ring, kicking off this year's WrestleMania extravaganza. The card officially kicked off with none other than The Game. Triple H coming out in full King Conan apparel, the throne, the wenches, the smoke, the swords, the whole deal. We've seen it in the past, but it's always a really captivating image of Triple H on that throne as the King of Kings, up against his opponent for the evening, the former American Dragon, Daniel Bryan. Yes, yes, yes. This crowd was hyped. This was a fantastic crowd down in New Orleans. I don't think you have any choice but to be an excited person when you're in that city. The vibe that just puts out into your body is just something you can't control. It's just one of those places that if you've never had the opportunity to get to New Orleans, get down to NOLA, my friend, and you will have a grand time. Irregardless, we're going to go into a match here where Triple H and Daniel Bryan laid it on the line. The top-notch match I'm not really going to go into giving, star reviews in this match. I'm just going to tell you if it was good, bad, or indifferent. And this, my friends, was a very, very good opening match. It destroyed my pick, as Daniel Bryan indeed did go over, defeating Triple H at the 26-minute and 47 mark. I forgot to mention that the tag team match prior to that was 16 minutes and 2 seconds. I'm into the times on this because this was a long WrestleMania, and some matches were not, and it's something we're going to talk about a little later. Stephanie was at ringside. No great shenanigans took place. No crazy Russo run-ins. No dusty finishes. None of the weird shit that usually goes on in these type of matches. And Daniel Bryan marches on to his destiny in the triple threat match for the main event at WrestleMania last night. Following this, we had the inaugural Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. 30 superstars going at it. Over the top rope, feet on the floor. We had, typical, just great battle royals that the WWE is notorious for decades. They've always put on great ones. As a kid, I remember watching these matches with Andre where he never lost. It's been a long time since they've had a great, just regular battle royal, because once the Royal Rumble came into existence, it kind of eliminated them using these gimmick matches. But surprisingly enough, Big Show was not the winner, nor was my pick Dolph Ziggler, who, although Dolph maintained and held in one of the longest in there, at the end it turned out to be the Big Show up against Cesaro, and Cesaro picked Big Show up and body slammed him over the top rope to the floor. Yes, he picked him up and body slammed him to the floor, putting Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger body slamming capabilities at a WrestleMania to shame. Cesaro gets the trophy and moves on, hopefully into great, great things in singles glory. I do see him picking up either the Intercontinental or the U.S. title later on this year. I expect to see that these mid-card titles are going to be given back the prestige that they had once had, and it fell to the wayside. But the way Triple H is booking things now, we're going back into the glory days, and you're going to make these mid-card guys and the chase for the titles leading up ultimately to your world title events to mean something. And having those titles on the line is desperately needed to give some credence and to have something for the lower and the mid-card guys to strive for. That's how we make superstars. You just can't take these guys out of NXT, throw them out through a couple of matches here and there, and all of a sudden they're going for the title. But besides that, again, that was a 13-minute, 58-second match. And what I forgot to mention in between these two matches was one that happened so fast. A match that I look forward to and was literally over in 3 minutes and 6 seconds, which is why I forgot to mention it in between. The Shield. Yeah, you heard it. The Shield, one of the greatest factions in WWE wrestling history, with three of the greatest upcoming superstars in the industry, went up against three of the all-time greatest performers in the WWE universe, that being Kane and the New Age Outlaws. And this match was disappointing, and again was over before it started. The Shield wins at 3 minutes and 6 seconds. is that somehow Billy Gunn was injured prior to the match, and why they couldn't have this match transform. It's still been held out for 10, 12 minutes without Billy tagging in. I don't know. What I did expect to happen was, because it ended so quickly, was for Kane to pull a power play and actually go for what was initially talked about months ago, was a triple threat match amongst the Shield for the U.S. title, which was not on the line at WrestleMania, as the Intercontinental belt was not on the line at WrestleMania. These are things that Triple H needs to fix, and as fans, you need to make it out and make it a point to tell these guys that we want these mid-level card titles. The history and prestige of the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title goes beyond, beyond words. So many years, so many feuds, so many great matches and times, and WrestleMania moments, and Starrcade moments, and just anywhere in the history of the game. Intercontinental and U.S. title holders many times outshone the main event world titles. And by God, it's time to get them back in prominence. And that's something that the Revolution is going to be part of and pushing. And I want you to join with me and tacking through the Twitterverse, through Facebook and all social media, to make these belts be put back up to the level of prestige that they deserve. Moving on from that, we have the match I was waiting for the most, and one had some controversy amongst fans. But what we had here was John Cena going up against Bray Wyatt, okay, in a match that, in my opinion, was one of the best matches put on by John Cena in some time. John Cena won this match at the 22-minute 47 mark. And I know every way people are like, there goes Cena. He don't push anybody. He won't let nobody get over. John Cena does not decide if he's going to win or lose a match. That's creative. All right, that's the big guys. That's Triple H. That's Steph. That's Vince. All right, that's the writers. What was monumental to happen in this match, and I had talked about it previously, was this. Bray Wyatt could not be destroyed and shown to be just another Cena victim. And from the opening moments of this match to the very end, Bray Wyatt showed himself to be the greatest young talent that the WWE has on its roster. He showed himself to be the greatest in-ring general, ring psychologist, able to tell a story with a look, a few words, some bizarre moves, and Bray Wyatt literally had this crowd in New Orleans eaten out of his hand. John Cena, his facade began to crack, and Bray was doing what Bray wanted to do, and that was not so much to win this match, but to turn John Cena's inner demons loose, for the darkness, for the violence to rip through the facade of hustle, loyalty, and respect, and show the real demon that resides within. And that monster showed its face several times, with Cena being able to hold back and not completely lose it, but came close down to points where the referee was begging Cena not to do it. You got too much to lose, John. And Super Cena did not make an appearance at this match, which also was monumental. He did not destroy the entire Wyatt family. He did not non-sell any of the holds or none of the matches. They went back and forth. Bray got out of his holds. Cena got out of his holds. Yes, Sister Abigail did not finish John Cena off, but it was very, very close. And this match was one of my favorites, and it is going to culminate uh, and lead into a long-going feud between Bray Wyatt and John Cena. That's going to go on for quite some time this year, and it's going to continue to build Bray Wyatt up into being the head lead heel monster in the WWE. Now, next up is a match that is full of controversy. This was The Streak, The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. It's a match that went on for 25 minutes and 25 seconds. And it was a very slow and plodding match. And sadly enough, it hurt to watch Undertaker just not be that man that he once was. Taker is no spring chicken, nagging injuries throughout the years. I believe he's had both hips replaced. Him and Lesnar kept it in the ring, which is probably the first streak match I've not seen go throughout the ringside area, not going through tables. Undertaker did not jump over the rope. He attempted to do the old school, which was caught and turn into what turned out to be the second of 3 F5s. And upon the third one, the pin was made. 1, 2, 3. And the crowd went into utter silence as the streak ended. Brock looked completely shocked. Paul Heyman looked shocked. The referee looked shocked. The entire crowd was aghast. The cameraman, everybody, time literally froze. And the Undertaker just laid there. And they walked away out of the ring, Heyman and Brock, and they kept looking back, like expecting, like, was somebody going to do something? Like, are they going to say that this match is supposed to continue? It's my opinion. It appeared that the Undertaker made an audible call to Brock that, this coming up in my own paraphrasing what happened, basically that, hey, big man, take it home. And I'm telling you to take it home and pin me. It's my last night. I'm done. And he did it. And that's where the shock and the awe came in. Today, there's been all kinds of different rumors about Vince firing Brock Lesnar for him doing a screw job and pinning Taker when he wasn't supposed to. But the Undertaker didn't fight that pin. This was definitely something Undertaker was part of. Now they're saying that the only people that knew about it were Triple H, Undertaker, the referee, and Brock Lesnar. That even Paul Heyman wasn't aware of it. I'm not buying that. What I buy is the fact that they're not going to admit that a wrestler changed the card and the match at the major pay-per-view of the year, and made an audible call and did it his way. And we'll see what happens tonight on Raw and what happens down the road. But the Undertaker, the streak is over. A moment in history occurred that anybody who was watching or was there will never forget. And it literally took the life out of me. It was like a kick in the stomach. The match following this was the Divas match, and I had no real desire to watch that match to begin with, and my mind was so blown with the Undertaker losing that match that I really didn't watch this. The match went on for I believe it was 7 minutes and 4 seconds. AJ Lee did win via the Widow submission hold that she uses, which did surprise me. I didn't think she was going to win this. I was going with Summer Rae. But irregardless, she remains the longest reigning Divas champion. Vicky Guerrero begrudgingly gave her her title belt back. And we now came to that part of the evening that is known as the main event. Triple threat for the undisputed world title for WWE. Daniel Bryan versus the Viper, Randy Orton, against the Animal, Dave Batista. I was not sure how this match was going to go. I expected there to be all kinds of interference and the corporate light coming in with Triple H and Steph and the Outlaws and everybody else getting involved, trying to cost Daniel this match. And fortunately, that really did not occur. People did make their appearances at ringside, but these three guys put on one hell of a match. Orton and Batista and Daniel Bryan really, really knocked it out of the park on this for all that they are. I mean, you got to remember, I mean, in all reality, Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan are the only two wrestlers out of this that have been in the game uninterrupted for years. They're the youngest. Dave Batista is up there in age. He has not been wrestling for a number of years. And the ring rust, although it was there, was not too bad. And I will say that they did one tremendous match. And they did a move on this which still brings a smile to my face. They set up the steps at the announce table and cleared off the Spanish announce table, and they cleared off the main table, and Dave put Daniel Bryan up there to put him in the Batista bomb, and Orton went on top of the two stairs, and as Dave smashed Daniel Bryan down, Orton RKO'd him through the table. Orton landed flat on his back through a monitor, cutting himself, hurting himself pretty bad it appeared to be. Daniel Bryan did not move. The match, just everybody was just kind of stunned and out of it. They sent stretchers out, and they took Daniel Bryan out on the stretcher. And it looked that Batista was going to win this match and put Orton back in the ring. And it just went back and forth. And then Daniel Bryan got off of the stretcher and made his way back to the ring. And submission holds were put in, and flying knees, and every move that the guys could do, they could do. The punts, the hits, the bombs. It was all there. Everything you could want. And what we wound up having at the 23-minute and 45-second mark was Daniel Bryan making Batista tap out to the yes lock, and the WWE Universe just lost their minds, going yes, yes, yes. And Daniel Bryan is your new undisputed world WWE champion, and that is how the show went off the air. And that was WrestleMania 30 for this year, 2014. I am the show. This is Big Slam Wrestling. The revolution is now. What's going to happen at Raw tonight, I do not know. I know I will be watching to see the aftermath, because as great as a show this was, the following Raw usually is off the charts. And there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and a lot of directions that the company can go. And from this point forward now, this is where it's leading up until the Rumble. So a lot of stuff happens tonight that leads the way. I'll see you down the road. Peace.